You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
I'm Sara Honegger.
And I'm Christy Landwehr, and you are listening to this special monthly NRHA episode of Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for this Thursday, April 10th, 2025.
Good morning, Horse World. In this National Reining Horse Association episode, listen in to hear from two international professionals and their journey to the United States.
It's the second Thursday of the month. That means it's time to slide in to the National Reining Horse Association episode of Horses in the Morning.
Sara, you just had something really exciting happen this past weekend. You had our youth officers come to Oklahoma City. Can you tell us more about what those youth officers were able to do this weekend?
Yes, it was so much fun. We have 6 members of our executive committee, you could say, of the Youth Association. And every single year we do a leadership training with Katie Hollingsworth, and she's with Crave Coaching. And they all fly into the office from all over the country. And we have a whole day of just getting to know each other. They set goals for the year. They learn about their leadership styles. They learn about each other. Of course, I get to learn about them as well and how they'll function together as a team. And we had such a good time. And to watch just the growth even in, one short weekend is so, so cool to see.
I think it's amazing the opportunities that our young people have. I wish, growing up like I did, my parents didn't know anything about the horse industry. And so I kind of fell into it and was very lucky to get to do so. But I didn't know about any of these associations or any of these groups. So I think it's so fantastic, all these opportunities the young kids have. Tell us a little bit about what they'll be doing in May. I think this is so exciting.
Yeah, in May, they will actually, it's slated that we'll be going to DC again with AQHA Youth Officer Team, and we'll lobby for issues that affect the horse industry. And it's so much fun because every year we leave there, the senators or, their staff, one of them will email me and say that our youth are better than most paid lobbyists. I mean, they're just so knowledgeable. They're so passionate, and they are just they're always just such a great group of youth members. I have to brag on them a little bit because every year they kind of come up with their set of team values when they are at this training here in Oklahoma City. And so all year we'll kind of, cross-check whatever they're doing against this set of values to see if everything still aligns. And every year they're a little different, but every year they really inspire me. And this year, their core values of their team, they want them to be collaboration, vulnerability, hard work, respect, and taking learning opportunities. And I just think, well, shouldn't we all?
Wow. And they came up with all of those on their own, 100%.
All on their own. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fantastic. What are the ages of the officers when they get to do these types of trips?
This year, it's 14 to 19. It's always 18 as of January 1. So we always have some kids that might turn 19 during that year. And we might have kids that start at 13 or 14. So it's a pretty wide range, but it's really great because then they get to represent so much more of our youth membership as well versus all older kids or younger. So they really span the gamut, and it's just so much fun.
Well, speaking of AQHA, I was lucky enough this past weekend to get to go to the convention for the American Quarter Horse Association. And I've been going to it for a long time. I used to go to it back when I worked for Certified Horsemanship, and now I get to for the NRHA. It's meeting Oh, people that I've known for years. It's getting to meet new people. It is truly a great experience. And some of our other alliances, we align with basically reining worldwide. So we've got the Appaloosas are a part of us. Of course, the Paints are a part of us. We also align with the National Reining Horse Association. We actually just sponsored their highest reining that they did there at their World's Greatest just a little while ago. So for anyone listening, go on our NRHA.com and click on our alliance page, and you'll see all the wonderful groups we work with. We also work, speaking of youth, with a lot of youth organizations. We work with the Interscholastic Equestrian Association, as well as the Intercollegiate Horse Show Association and NCEA and YIDA. I mean, there's just quite a few. So we're just very excited to be able to have these alliances. And it was such a thrill to be able to go to the convention in Vegas this past weekend.
Well, I love that so much. I love hearing just the networking and the stories that always come out of that. And I love that each of those things are like a little reunion, you know?
Very much so. And I think something new that we're doing this year that is really exciting. We have our Derby coming up here really soon, and that'll
We'll be here before
in
we know it.
Wow. And in the new OG&E Arena, and I'm getting used to saying that, but David corrected me when he saw me, so I have to correct myself. It's the OG&E stands for the Oklahoma Gas and Electric. But I have to say Coliseum every time. I cannot say arena. So
Yes.
It is the OG&E Coliseum, and we will be the first national event in there. So for anybody wanting to come, we have our freestyle is going on Thursday the 19th, and it also has para-reining that evening. Come out and experience it. We have the non-pro finals on Friday the 20th, and then our open finals on the 21st. And I know we still have two more podcasts before we're going to actually be there that will talk about the Derby some more, but I'm just so excited about it because we're in the throes of making it all happen right now.
It really is so exciting. And it just feels like it's going to be here in 2 seconds. And you have created a really cool opportunity for some new people to potentially be involved and to kind of have their own piece of the Derby, if you will. So do you want to share with our listeners a little bit about that?
Yes, so excited. We have a new buckle program, not only for our Derby, but also for the Futurity that'll come later this year, and currently for our World Champion buckles, also our North American Affiliate Championship buckles, and for the first time ever, our European Derby buckles. So we're very excited. We're going to launch that program. Everyone's going to be getting an email soon. It'll come out on social, all the things. So please find out a little bit more about that if you want a piece of sponsoring all of these wonderful horses and riders and all of their journeys that they take to get all the way to our final competitions.
Well, speaking of journeys, I'm so excited to get into our two guests today. They're both NRHA professionals that started internationally and then ended up moving their business to the United States. And we get to see a lot more of them now here at shows. They'll both be at that Derby in Oklahoma City. And I'm so excited to learn more from both of them. Sara Beck was the first woman NRHA professional to become an NRHA $1 million rider. The Belgium native is a 2-time NRHA non-pro world champion, 3-time FEI World Equestrian Games medalist, the 2014 NRHA European Derby Level 4 Open champion, and she competed in the 2023 Run for a $1 million competition and more. She has promoted the sport of reining worldwide and still works with clients of every level from around the globe. And she now resides in Collinsville, Texas. Welcome to the show, Sara. Well, Sara, we're so excited to have you with us here this morning. And you are originally from Belgium and you're now training out of Texas at your own place. Can you share with us what that move was like and how your training program has changed or adapted in that time frame?
Yes, indeed. I moved 2.5 years ago, I would say, in March. And it has been a struggle for sure. I mean, going to a different continent, I don't know why I thought it was not going to be this hard, but it is hard. I mean, I don't have my family around me, which is in a job like we have, it's kind of a struggle. And I didn't really realize how much that affects your job, you know? So, yeah, it's been rough. I think now 2.5 years later, I am finding my balance again. And also, it's a little bit easier because Archie is older. My son is 2.5 now, and he was 4 months when we came. So, riding and trying to connect with your horse
Mhm.
and breastfeeding and a baby that wakes up in the night. And yeah, of course, I came by myself. So I was a single mom. Um, so yeah, it was all a lot. I think if you're not a single mom and you don't have a baby of 4 months, it probably is not gonna be as hard as what it is for me. I mean, because business wise, I think it's pretty much the same, but if you come here and you have to start over with no clients, because obviously you cannot take them, even though I was blessed enough that three of my best clients from Europe came with me, which is the reason I survived, basically, because of that. So I'm forever grateful for them that they were saying, like, Sir, if this is your dream, you should chase it and you should go for it. And they got me through the first year. So I'm really, really, really blessed. But besides that, I think the business is the same. It's just we are in a place where there are a lot more trainers than there are in Europe. So the competition is hard, but at the other side, there are also a lot more horses and a lot more customers. So I think it evens it out quite a bit. But yeah, for me, it was hard.
I am
It's a
so incredibly proud of you because I moved from California to Colorado and thought that was a big deal. And that's a 2 hour plane ride. So you think about what you did, right? I think it's pretty fantastic. Um, I I thought your 2023 Run for a Million ride was amazing, and you were such a
Mhm.
fan favorite based on the way the crowd ignited when you came in. What are some of your top moments in the show pen, and what is that like as an NRHA professional?
Yeah, I mean, the Run for the Million was definitely one of the highlights of my life. And I agree, like, I don't think I've ever felt the crowd supporting me that much at that night. Like, they were all cheering me on, and I just could feel that everybody wanted me to do good. So that was an incredible moment, and I still get emotional because it was just so beautiful, and um I wish I would have done better, and I was super grateful for Nyberger for giving me the opportunity to ride their horse, living on a prayer. But at the same time, I was also really sad that I couldn't do it with the mare I qualified on because she is still in my heart. And I
Mm.
think qualifying at the Cactus with that mare, America's Next Cover Girl, was probably the second highlight of my life because we flew over, we did so much. The owner, Elementa, supported me all the way, and I felt a lot of pressure because I really wanted to qualify, but at the same time, you know that there are 100 best horses of the world are going to be at the Cactus Classic to try that, and to be able to got fifth place with a horse that flew in from Italy.
Mhm.
Me being a girl, it was just I mean it was one of the best days of my life. So I wish I could have, finished that story with her. But it was just also okay the way it went. But that crowd was amazing. And I think my other highlight was in France, in the show they do in Lyon. And I mark a 2:31.5 with Colonel Shining Gun. And that's definitely also in my top three that night.
It's so incredible. You talking about feeling that crowd. I mean, we really could feel it. Like I would bet anything that the floor of the South Point was vibrating from the people going crazy. It was so fun.
Yeah, it was. It was so fun. I agree.
Well, this industry and this community bring so many unique opportunities, and one of them recently was our new promotional videos for NRHA. Our new tagline, our new promotional piece is called "This Right Here Is Raining," and you, myself, Trevor Dare, we all met up in Purcell and filmed those new videos together. I guess a few months ago already. And I just had so much fun and so much fun getting to know you better and seeing the production side. Can you tell our listeners a little bit what it was like being the star of the show?
Yeah, it was definitely a very fun night to do that. We had a lot of fun, that's true. And oh my gosh, when that video went on Instagram, my phone was blowing up. No kidding. I got like 50 messages in an hour from all over the world saying like, "Oh
Awesome.
my gosh, it's so nice." And I think it got like shared like so many times, but that day my phone just blew up. And I didn't know that it was posted, you know. So my first message it was like, "Oh, really? I should watch." But to be honest, I hate to hear my own voice and I hate to see me. So I think I only watched it one time, but I got so many nice comments from all over the world that especially my last words, like just don't call it a rodeo. I think everybody loved that. There's like, finally somebody is saying it. And you guys make me say it so many times in so many different ways. I can dream that sentence now.
I love it. I could dream that sentence now is so true.
Yeah.
It was so funny because, we were kind of splitting up scripts between Sierra and Trevor, and Sierra read the one, and it, like she said, it does end with "just don't call it a rodeo." And, it's so funny because she was, which you could speak to it yourself, but you were like, people my whole life have asked me, "Oh, so you ride horses? Do you rodeo?" And we're like, "Yes, we love rodeo. It's so great. A lot of our reiners do it, but that's not what this is."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that people ask me those questions so many times, and already like 10 years ago, I started getting mad about that question. So, and then they like, can you say that again, but a little bit like this? And can you say that again? So in the end, I was also pretty mad, like, just don't call it a rodeo, please. Yeah, it
The
was
sass
fun.
level easily increased with each take. You're like, "Oh, you want
Exactly.
sassier? I'm in."
Oh, that was funny. Yeah, I did.
Well, I am so glad you were able to be there and do that for us. It's been a pleasure. And I have watched it numerous times, but I'm like you. I don't like listening to my voice or watching myself either. Sometimes I never bother. I don't want to do that. So, but yours it's fantastic. So where can
Thank you.
our listeners learn more about you and your training program? What is the best way for them to find you?
Well, I live in Collinsville, Texas, and they can always stop by and visit me there. I'm not probably super good at social media, but that's just because I have no time. It's not that I don't want to do it or I don't think it's important because I do. But between riding my horses and being a mom and trying to keep track of my paperwork, there are just not enough hours in the day to also spend time on Insta and Facebook a lot. So, but you're always welcome to visit me in Collinsville.
Well, I think that's wonderful. And I know over time you will probably be able to hopefully hire somebody to help you do that because you don't want to do both. You want to be out there riding.
Exactly. I wish. Yeah, and that's definitely the plan in the future.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on. And we just so appreciate all of your help with the This Right Here is Raining videos and everything else that you're doing for the industry. Sierra, thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Very, very welcome.
I spent years reading about Sierra in the Rainer magazine and watching her runs on the internet, and I was such a fan. And it's so much fun to get to watch her compete so much more often now that she's here in the US. And I will just never forget that Run for a Million competition. I mean, the fans that she has garnered from across the globe and brought with her here is so cool. And now we get to watch someone younger in their career from Brazil begin to do the very same thing. And you want to talk about chills watching him compete in the level 4 finals for the first time at the futurity. Now that'll give you chills. We are so excited to be joined by Leonardo Kellerman next.
Leonardo Kellerman was the NRHA up-and-coming professional of 2024. He earned over $400,000 in NRHA lifetime learnings during that year, having earned $84,000 previously, so it was definitely a banner year for him. He finished the year earning the 2024 NRHA Futurity Open 2 and 1 championships and was co-reserve in the Level 3. This Brazilian native works for the NRHA corporate partner Seven Lakes Ranch and has also begun a digital colt starting series to continue to promote the sport to others. He finished last year ranked as the 7th NRHA professional. Welcome to the show, Leonardo. Leo, welcome to the show today. We're so excited to have you on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
So you're originally from Brazil. Can you please tell us about your move to the training that you now do in the USA and your journey going it on your own now as a trainer? How did all that come about?
So that was about 7 years ago. It's when I decided to move from Brazil to the States. I used to work for a trainer called Marcelo, his name, Marcelo Almeida in Brazil. And then I moved here to the States to work for Gabriel Borges. And so I stayed in Texas with Gabriel for about a year. And that's a place that I learned a lot. And so when I moved here, I didn't speak any English, nothing. I was just me and Gabriel, he teaching me a lot of stuff. And it was a great opportunity to start here with a great trainer. And then after that, I went, me and him actually, he got a job to go work for NRHA, funny. And he brought me with actually. So I got the opportunity to come and start working for NRHA. And that's where I stayed for like 5 years. It was amazing for me. The opportunity of go there and work. I started pretty much from the beginning of it there, starting colts. And I did pretty much I feel like I grew up during the time I was there. I started in colts, and then after I started riding older horses, and then started showing and starting success in the Chopin. And then after 5 years, I felt like then I was pretty close to be on my own. And that's when I made the decision of coming to Seven Lakes in Oklahoma. And I think it worked out really good. I think it was the perfect time for me to start a career on my own, I think.
I was just going to say, from the outside looking in, the timing sure is perfect. You know, you had such a huge year last year. It was your first level 4 futurity finals, and it was on a horse that was so special to you. Can you walk us through the emotions of that night and competing at that caliber at such an early phase in your career, especially having just gone out on your own as well?
Yeah, it was a lot of emotions going on, and especially because it was really important for me because I started watching reining a long time ago, and I always see that like the Coliseum is kind of like a dream. Then I always had to show like in a futurity finals in the Coliseum, and then when we went to the futurity last year, I had like a gray horse, and I had the opportunity to be on the finals, but at the same time, I knew that was the last year on the Coliseum, so I was like, this is the only chance I have. I don't have other ones. If I don't make this year, I'm probably never gonna make a level 4 finals in here on the Coliseum again. So, and then I had my first run. I did good, but not even close what my horse could. We had some mistakes, but we ended up passing to the second go. And then from the second go, I was like, I was actually on the lower on the cut, like a 218 on the cut. So I knew I had to do really good on the second go to be able to make in. And then I ended up marking 222 on the second go, and then we ended up being in a good spot to go to the finals. And yeah, on the finals it was a lot of emotions going on. I felt like I told some of my friends then I feel like the older trainers, like a lot of old, like friends that I have, that are older on the reining and already made a lot of level 4 finals. They like come and bring me some stuff up, like, hey, like remember to breathe, like remember to look where you're going. Like I feel like I was a kid going with like the big,
It's awesome.
and but I was I work a lot on my focus and try to stay like focused and not to overthink that much.
Mhm.
And then after I finished the run and I knew I did good, I felt like I did good. And then I was like, okay, now I can breathe and look around and see all that.
I felt
Uh-huh.
so lucky to be there and to be a part of that and to see all of that. It was awesome. And I think it's so great how all of your peers not only were doing all of that for you at the futurity as you were going into finals, but to top off your season last year, you were voted as the up and coming NRHA professional by all of them. What does that award mean to you?
It means a lot. Like it was something that I didn't even expect. Like
Mhm.
I knew they had that, but I didn't really like even think about it. And then when they called me and told me that I won, I was like, wow, that's nice. It was pretty special to be able to win that.
I love hearing that, and I love that that was something that was just not even in your scope at the time. I think a lot of people do think about those awards throughout the year, but the fact it came as such a surprise, I think, is so special. What are some of your goals going into this year after such an incredible year last year?
So I think it didn't change that much. It's I feel like the even if now I'm like just showing on the level 4, I feel the plan was always the same. Is try to get the best of each horse that I have to show this year. I have the opportunity because of Janice. She's been like amazing to me. Her and Tiago are being like amazing, and they kept the good horse that I have for this year. So I think it's pretty much focused on keep showing, try bring the best of those horses that I have for this year. I have some other clients that bring me some good horses too, that I have the opportunity to show this year on the level 4, and try to do it again. See if I can maximize the best of what I have on my horses and see what we can do.
Well, it's so cool. You have such a connection with that horse, clearly. So that's so exciting that you get to continue that this year. And, you just mentioned your team with Janice and Thiago, and you also have another international horse trainer there that I know
Mhm.
you guys worked together so close last year, Mirko Medilli.
Mhm.
He led really the year at all those up and coming fraternities leading up to the big NRHA fraternity. He won the go round. And every time I talked to him, he talked about how much the friendship with you and working with you helped him as well. So, what is that like to get to know you're going into this year with all of that behind you as well?
No, it's amazing, especially because I feel like we have a great team in here. Me and Mirko, we work every day together and help each other pretty much every single day. Like yesterday, he was riding one of my horses and telling me what he feels. Today, I was riding one of his and telling him what I feel. And I feel like we are good friends. And more than that, it's kind of like a we don't call competition because that's not what we are not competing each other. We are competing of the best of us, of like between us and our horses. But being able to have a person that is we're good friends and we can push each other to our best every day. Like sometimes I'm riding and we feel like, oh, like my feels good today, and then you look on your side and Mirko's horse feels looks even better, and you're like, well, mine feels good, but I gotta keep working, if not. And I think it's amazing to have that, especially because we compete at the end of the day, but to be able to separate the competing part to the friendship, I think is the kind of like the cue of why we're being able to success together. He had a great year last year too. He had colt, then we call him Mo here, and he had amazing year with the horse. He show like all the futurities that he showed. He won. He did amazing scores, and he went to the futurity and did amazing there too. I'm pretty excited to see him showing him this year again. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do awesome.
I love all of that. And one thing that I think is so exciting, you have a digital colt starting series. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So there I came with like this plan last year to start kind of like I was going to pick one mare and kind of like run through the first months of like each week I was going to post a video. I didn't end up putting every single thing that I want to, but for sure next year I'm gonna do even more than that. I wanted to, especially because I moved from Brazil a long time ago, and I feel like a lot of persons from Brazil would like to see like how we work here. So I'm kind of planning to start putting videos of that, not even just in English. I have the opportunity to speak other language, so I wanted to be able to bring to like a lot of more persons and can watch how we do and how we start our codes. And my plan is to start from a code like from the beginning, like it's literally the first day, and bring that code through the season and show how much like the improvement, what time of the year, and what stuff I'm looking for on that code. So I think it was good this year, but I think next year it's gonna be even more fun to watch.
I think that's amazing. How can people find that, and how can they find out more about you and your program? What's the best places for them to go?
They can look it up on my Instagram or on Facebook. They're both Kellerman Performance Horse. I post everything on the Instagram and on Facebook.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Leo. I think your journey is incredible, and I cannot wait to see what you do in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, Leo was on the Cowboy Channel a few weeks ago to talk about his big futurity win, his big 2024 year as a whole. And I watched that interview with him and immediately thought, oh my gosh, we have got to get him on our podcast. He just knocked that out of the park, and he did again today. And I could just listen to him talk about the futurity and how much he loves his horse over and over again.
Me too. Absolutely fantastic. And it just shows, NRHA has so many wonderful professionals and non-pros and owners from all over the world. Some of them, of course, end up coming here, like our guest today, to the U.S., and others stay right where they're at and do a wonderful job promoting our sport. It is such a pleasure to have them on.
It really is so, so neat. And if you talk to any of us here at NRHA, Sam Oldfield says this all the time. She's our director of international relations. And, whether you're in Texas, in Italy, in South Africa, in Thailand, in China, reining is reining. The judging is the same. The arenas look the same. And the love of the horse is the same.
So how can people find out more about our past podcasts, Sara?
The best way is to just visit nrha.com/podcast. But anyone that's curious about reining in general, we are on TikTok, we're on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and we would love to teach you a little bit more.
We're so excited that you listened today to the This Right Here is Reining podcast, brought to you by the National Reining Horse Association. Now go out and have the slide of your life.